Hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, the show here on Let's Talk Entertainment, where going back to 2018, I've been attempting to read and review each of the roughly 600 short stories written by the late, great Ray Bradbury. Today we're up to story number 270, which is also the 10th of 25 short stories in his 2002 collection, One More for the Road. Today's story is Afternoon. So, if you're new to the channel, the way that this works is I do a brief synopsis of the story, sort of all the plot and action character, and then I sort of wrap up with a very light analysis of what I think it all means, what I took away from it, is a good story worth my time and yours. So, one afternoon in September, Miss Elizabeth Simmons is dreading another bleak fall. She pulls the page off the calendar, September, which is not yet over, but revealing October beneath it, and revealing that she feels like it's inevitable, might as well tear it off right now. Her little niece Juliet is there, but she insists that she be given the calendar page because she has some things to mark down. She says that she's living a full, rich life with all these different fun kid activities, and she has so much to remember, and she'll never forget it. Aunt Elizabeth, she thinks none of this is true. And then she goes up to the attic to do a job that she had been dreading all year long, which is to clean out the attic, clean out the old memories, which she couldn't bear to leave up there for one more winter. She gets up there and she, sort of to her own surprise, finds an old box of calendars collected by herself. Once a small child in the late 1800s, who collected such things, and the pages were marked up with circles and underlines and things like that, but she didn't really remember what any of it meant. All these memories that she was trying to remember, she can no longer remember in old age. She starts throwing stuff down out of the window into the yard, and she sort of begs her niece to throw away that old scrap of paper that you put into your pocket. And she says, "No, I have so much to remember. I'm never going to forget it." And she sort of pats on her pocket, and you realize there's a whole stack of other calendar pages like that just there, all tucked away neatly to be remembered forever. But Aunt Elizabeth knows that, no, truly, you will not remember these things in your old age, unfortunately, no matter how hard you try. And so she throws her down a box that she can put the scraps of paper in. It's a beautiful, if not slightly underwhelming story. That's my take on it. But, all stories don't need to be sort of these grand, epic, earth-shattering things. This one sort of gives us one little aspect of life to think about, which is the way that we deal with our past in old age. I'm middle age. I'm not old by any means. But even for me, being a sort of an introspective person, I realize there's a lot of things that I forgot, and there's things that I've been purposely tried to forget that I can't forget. And memory is a strange thing like that. So all these moments that children seem to be open to enjoying and remembering, and before all the noise of adult life and then eventually old age gets in the way, they think these are precious moments they'll recall forever. They are shaping us, even if we can't necessarily remember them. So I wonder, what events in the aunt's life has sort of led to her this path of sort of regret as opposed to forward thinking and looking ahead. I know she's older, so there is that, death on the horizon, no doubt, but she doesn't seem to look too fondly upon her past. What is there? That's something that Bradbury leaves vague for us to ponder. But yeah, not a bad little story. Again, a little bit overwhelming. I think it could have benefited from some sort of event. I don't necessarily love flashbacks in stories, but it would have been good to have the aunt describing something from her past, or trying to hold on to some memory that she can't quite recall. Something like that to sort of anchor us to her and to make her experience more lively for us. As it is, it's a lot of talking. On the other hand, it's a little bit talky, even for its length, as opposed to sort of showing us some sort of event that should really, give us some reason to feel for her more than we actually do. Even the niece only describes all the amazing things that she's done all week, like, visiting her friend and catching crayfish and going out for ice cream and things like that. Little things, but, we could have seen one of those things. I think that would have been perhaps beneficial. Maybe had the child, instead of being down in the yard playing, I suppose she could have been up in the attic helping her aunt, but I think maybe that doesn't make sense either, because the aunt is sort of in the attic wallowing in the past while the daughter is outside enjoying playing in a cool fall day in the splendor of the changing leaves. So take what you will from that. Yeah, I think it's worth your time to read. It'll take you a few minutes. It's like a 4 or 5 page story, so not very long at all. Next time on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, our 271st review will be of, this one has a long title. I'm not sure I'm going to fit it on the thumbnail, but it is Where All Is Emptiness, There Is Room to Move. So that will be our next story. Thank you. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon, perhaps after this weekend, because I'm going to spend the weekend watching racing. Memorial Day weekend in the U.S. is the biggest racing weekend of the year, beginning with the Formula One Monaco Grand Prix beginning with ARCA and Truck Series racing in NASCAR tonight. But then on Sunday, the F1 Monaco Grand Prix, followed by the Indy 500 here in the U.S., and then the Coca-Cola 600 in the NASCAR Series in Charlotte. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. In the meantime, if you're not going to be watching racing, enjoy a good story like this one, After Afternoon from One More for the Road. See you later.